Warning, this video contains badass content not suitable for haters. Do not attempt to recreate or reenact any of the following activities. Sub-Ohm Sensei, Sub-Ohm Studios and its affiliates will not be held liable.
What's going on, guys? Sub-Ohm Sensei here. Thanks for tuning into the Clouds of Flavor series. In this 5-part series, we're going to take a look at some coils that are easy to achieve for the beginner builder that'll still offer great vapor production without compromising flavor. This series is largely going to be geared toward the new builder in vapor, so if you've got some experience building, you may find this a little bit overly informative and kind of slow to start. For today's coil, we'll be using multiple strands of 30 gauge. We're going to twist together into a double helix wire. That's going to open up some channels for the juice to flow through and help set that flavor off, and that multiple strands of smaller gauge is going to help decrease our ramp up time. We're going to stage that with 26 gauge nichrome, which is going to help set off that vapor production as well as round out the flavor for you. So the first part of this build is going to deal with the double helix wire, and there's probably 5 or 6 different ways you can go about achieving the wire, but I'll show you the way I prefer, and that's to take about 3.5–4 foot of 30 gauge kanthal. We're just going to put a 90-degree bend in the end of it and then straighten it in our drill chuck real quick. Once we've got it set in the drill chuck, we're just going to run our fingers down the lengths, get a good bite on the opposite end with our pliers, and we're just going to let the drill run for about 5 seconds to straighten this piece of wire out. Once we've straightened it out, we're going to take our loose end and throw a 90-degree bend in that as well, and we're just going to insert that into the drill chuck with the other end. Now that we have both ends of the wire set inside the drill chuck, we're just going to take a wrapping post, Allen key, screwdriver, whatever you have handy, and we're just going to find the end of that loop of kanthal we just made and pull it tight to the end of that loop so that the wires run parallel to each other and sit nice and taut. And we're just going to twist them together for about 10 seconds or so. So we got a nice piece of twisted 30 gauge. Next, we're just going to repeat the last process by going to our loose end, inserting a 90-degree bend in it, and then reinserting that in the chuck with our other end. Now we're just going to find that end of the loop again, stick our screwdriver through and twist it together. This time we're going to go until it starts to feel tight. If the wire starts to wave up on you up and down, you might want to back off about 2 revolutions and leave it as is. If you go too tight here, you risk breaking the wire. So we got our 30 gauge nice and twisted up. We're just going to set that piece of wire aside. We're going to take a piece of 26 gauge. In this case, I'll be using nichrome, and just straighten it out real quick. Now we're ready to make a coil. I'm going to start with the helix wire, and I'm just going to do 5 wraps around a 2.5mm post. Being as this is such a springy coil, I like to take my pliers and just tug on one lead and then set my thumb or index to hold the tension there. Go to the opposite lead and do the same thing, and that just helps tighten up that inner diameter, make it a little bit more true. Alright, next step is to stage the coil, so I'm just going to take my 26 and I'm going to push it between these 2 legs and into the jig head. And I'm just going to rotate that lower leg till it makes contact. And we're just going to use our hand to force that 26 gauge down in between the existing wraps. And I like to pull the coil off and flip it over. That just helps you get that nichrome leg back underneath the twisted. Next step is to repeat that process with the other side. And we're ready to install. We're ready to install now. I wrap my coil clockwise, so I'm going to put mine to the right side of the RDA. That's just going to allow that wrap coming over the top to be the closest to the base, and it's going to give you a little bit more room underneath to wick your cotton.
I got caught up in some bullshit and almost gave up my dreams. Even had some trust issues with people up on my team. I went and questioned my confidence after I gave up trees. But now I'm back in the booth, and once again I'm at peace.
Better flee hops or get your head flown 3 blocks.
And once again I'm at peace, and once again I'm at peace. I got caught up in some bullshit and almost gave up my dreams. Now I'm
visualizing the real of my life in actuality.
pills for concentration, pills for motivation, pills to keep me patient, and pills to help me creation. I'm addicted to this life I'm living, trying to fuck all types of women, regardless they skin color, regardless they their religion. I've been trying to paint a vision, vinyl scratching, record skipping, keep my distance from women who hella timid. I'm driven to be the next greatest thing, out of everyone A to Z. Producers sending me beats, and I hope my enemies bleed. I'm feeding on helpless rappers, y'all some fucking selfish bastards. If money is all you after, that just shouldn't play a factor. I'm cracking up at your ignorance. Lately I've been a pessimist. When I go out in public, I'm turning heads like the exorcist. Devilish thoughts, I'm a bad sign. Stressing, never have fun. Rarely eating sleep, I lost like 10 pounds in the last month. Used to always pass blunts till I quit smoking, but now I'm a lot more focused. I thought my shit smelled like roses. I got caught up in some bullshit and almost gave up my dreams. Even had some trust issues with people up on my team. I went and questioned my confidence after I gave up trees, but now I'm back in the booth, and once again I'm at peace.
Better flee hops or get your head flown 3 blocks.
And once again I'm at peace, and once again I'm at peace. I got caught up in some bullshit and almost gave up my dreams. Now I'm
visualizing the real of my life in actuality.
trying to harness my thoughts. Lately I'm feeling so lost, feeling unwanted by the world, but someone tell me the cost of paying the price. I never prayed in my life, but right now I could really desperately use a sign. I gotta know what's in store. I feel like floating to shore, cause I'm lost at sea mentally, and I just can't take no more. All of my feelings ignored. I used to be easygoing, can't figure out my emotions, and when it rains it reports. Did I go to college to tour, but was that such a mistake? Ain't never been more afraid, I feel like going insane. Tearing my hair out is crazy, my father never been lazy. Yeah man, the apple don't
Drip it excellently well.
fall far from pops to his baby, so just know that I'm hard working, and that's for damn certain. I know I never really been one of the nicest of persons, and this feeling's really irking me. There's something that occurs to me. Half the people who heard of me don't even know me personally.
There it is, guys, ringing in at 0.11 ohms. Let's have a vape and see how she does. So it's a really nice warm vape. The production's right where you'd expect it to be. It's got great flavor to it. My favorite part about it is the ramp up. For me, it's perfect. It's not so violent that you get a bunch of splashback, but you're not going to spend a bunch of time waiting for the ramp up either. I mean, it's right there. So it's a really solid all-around build. I enjoy it, and as always, I hope you do too. Until next time, keep on vaping.